This channel got monetized from their first ever video and it racked up over 161,000 views. Meanwhile, nearly an identical channel pulled just 3,000 views. So, same video style, relatively same video topic, and one channel got over 100,000 views and the other just barely a couple thousand. Why and what's the difference? Sure, there's a little bit of luck involved, but there's something way more powerful that most new YouTubers have no clue about. It's something YouTube quietly runs behind the scenes that's been gatekept for years. It's called the trust score, and it's the main reason why your channel isn't blowing up. But once you understand how it works, you can literally bend the YouTube algorithm in your favor. And that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. So first of all, what is your YouTube channel's trust score? You want to think of your trust score like your credit score on YouTube. Really, it's an invisible number that signals to YouTube why they should trust your channel. So to put it simply, a high trust score means that YouTube pushes your videos out to more audiences, whereas a low trust score means that your videos will get recommended a lot less. And really, if there's two brand new channels who upload the exact same video on their channel, really the only variable that YouTube has to go off of is your trust score. And your trust score is determined by a couple things. Number one, it's the age of your Gmail account. So for example, if your Gmail account is created more recently in October of 2025 and you post a video there, YouTube is much more likely to flag that video as spam because there are a bunch of AI channels right now. And if you post your video on a channel with very low trust, it's gonna have a harder time finding an audience. And another factor that you could possibly look at that counts into your trust score, it's also the location in which you open your Gmail account. So for example, if you open your Gmail in a country that's not very politically favored in the US, like for example Venezuela, where the US is invading it constantly and Google kind of doesn't really want to touch that, that will actually significantly lower the trust score of your channel just by virtue of the location that you open your Gmail on. Other things that YouTube might look at is how active your specific browse history is. So if you have a YouTube channel and you browse a lot of high quality videos that you want your audiences to watch, and it will give the YouTube algorithm a certain signal that, oh, this account is active and it's a high value account because it watches a lot of high value videos within your specific niche. So that's also another thing that you really want to consider. But in terms of YouTube's official documentation, there isn't anything about what is included inside this trust score. It's kind of this phantom variable that determines whether a new channel is able to get off the ground or it stays stuck at the number of views that it's at and will just have no chance at getting monetized. Sometimes that is just the case, and really what we want to do as YouTubers is we want to maximize our chances at having a high trust score. So on a video level, if I were to look at the metrics at what would influence your trust score, I would calculate trust score as your watch time plus your viewer satisfaction plus your consistency minus your policy risk. And I'll talk about each of these individually. Number one is your watch time. So it's how much time viewers spend on your channel. So if viewers spend more time watching your video, you have a higher watch time, which leads to a higher trust score. That's the most obvious. Number two is viewer satisfaction. How satisfied are viewers once they watch your video from start to finish? Do they go on and watch another video on your channel? Do they go on and watch a competitor's channel? Or do they completely log off of YouTube? And really, viewer satisfaction is measured by the session time of your viewers. So whether they actually spend more time on YouTube or they spend more time on your channel or they just completely log off. And viewer satisfaction also is calculated by how many likes your videos get, how many dislikes your videos get, the number of comments your videos get, and a bunch of other variables that YouTube doesn't really talk about, but viewer satisfaction is a big one on that. The third pillar is consistency. So how frequently do you upload videos? Let's say you upload a video this month and then your next upload is 3 months from now and then your next upload is 5 months from now. Once again, the trust score won't really be there because you are not a consistent YouTuber. You do not post consistently enough for the YouTube algorithm to really push your content. So that's why everyone preaches consistency. And really that just means giving YouTube data and giving YouTube signals that, hey, I'm a trustworthy channel and I am worthy of my videos being pushed to a larger audience. And then the last variable within that would be policy risk. So if you create lots of politics content or a bunch of gory content that is against YouTube's terms and services, then the trust score will be much lower, because that's where you get copyright strikes. That's where you get in trouble with the YouTube algorithm and the YouTube policy, because you're posting content that YouTube doesn't want to push to its audiences. And really, that's usually harmful content, or maybe it's political content. YouTube tends to get a little bit political too. So you want to be careful about posting content that actually has inherent policy risk. If you post, stuff like I do, like YouTube script writing content, YouTube growth content, generally the policy risk will be a lot lower. So if you want to maximize your trust score on a video level, you want to make videos that have a high watch time, have a high viewer satisfaction, aka make good videos, high level of consistency, aka post once a week, and a low level of a policy risk, meaning that you don't want to offend anyone at YouTube, and that increases your trust score on a video level. Now, I'm going to give you a list of things that you can do in order to increase your trust score. Number one, you can warm up your channel. So warming up your channel means watching videos within your niche, and this is high level videos to signal to YouTube that your YouTube channel is something that is of high value, aka they can run ads from more lucrative brands to your specific account. If YouTube knows that, hey, I can run ads from, car companies or luxury companies to your account, that means your account is willing to take up more spend, and that means that YouTube is more likely to push your account because they want you to stay on their platform as a high spending individual on ads, whether you are actually a high spending individual on ads or whether you've bought anything from YouTube ads at all. Number two, what you want to do is verify your channel identity. So if you have a valid ID, you can actually very easily verify your channel ID to show that you are a real person. And if you're a real person, YouTube is more likely to increase your trust score. Number three is to use a Gmail account that you use regularly. So YouTube is owned by Google, and Google owns like the Gmail data. So if you're using a completely new Gmail account that you just started in November 2025, it's much less likely that YouTube will think that you're an actual human being. Whereas if you use an email that you regularly transact in, you typically ask emails with this specific email, and you receive and you send emails, your trust score will be much higher. And many people will say that this is a non-variable, but the truth is YouTube is owned by Google. So these are one of the small things, albeit important, that you want to take note of. And number four, under the pillar of consistency, is to upload video consistently. Now, I'm not saying that you need to upload one video a week, but if you, let's say, want to stick to a once a month cadence, you want to 100% stick to a once a month cadence. If you post your video on the 5th of every month, you want to make sure that you hit the 5th upload every single month, so that YouTube actually has a signal that in your audience can kind of predict that, oh, if this guy posts on the 5th, he's going to post on the 5th the next month, and the 5th the next month, and the 5th the next month. And that substantially increases your trust score. It increases your audience's trust with you too, which I'm sure is a big factor in your audience trust score. And number five is to avoid clickbait titles and thumbnails. So this is in line with the point on viewer satisfaction. If you want to have a high viewer satisfaction, your title and thumbnail should match your actual content of your video. Whereas if you use a title and thumbnail that's very clickbait, people aren't going to watch the rest of your video. So if you wanted to build up the trust score of your channel right now, I would stick to talking about one topic within your niche, right? There's a lot of advice of kind of just make videos on whatever you want, but you can make videos on whatever you want about a specific subject matter or a specific topic. So that way YouTube will have an easier time building trust with you and knowing that you are going after a certain segment of the audience, and that will thereby increase your trust score. And really, once you master your YouTube trust score, that's when you will really get incremental gains. And that's really the difference between channels that get 100,000 views on their very first video versus being stuck at 10 views on your very first video. It's your trust score. It matters whether you like it or not.